hour is near, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer. Jesus arrested. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd armed with swords and clubs sent from the chief priest and the elders of the people. Now the betrayed had arranged a signal with them. The one I kisses the man, arrest him. Going at Jesus, going at once to Jesus, Judas said, "Greetings, Rabbi." And Jesus replied, "Friend, do what you came for." Then the men stepped forward, sneezed at Jesus, and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached for his sword, drew it out, and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his hair. "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to him. "For all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legion of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen in this way?" At the time, Jesus said to the crowd, "Am I leading a rebellion that you have come out with cords and clubs to capture me? Every day I sat at the temple courts teaching, and you did not arrest. This has all taken place that the writings of the prophets might be filled." Then all the disciples deserted him and fled before the Sanhedrin. Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the teachers of the elders had assembled. But Peter followed him at a distance, right up to the co- courtyard of the high priest. He entered and sat down with the guards to see that outcome. The chief priest and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for false evidence against Jesus so that they could put him to death, but they did not find any, though many false witnesses came forward. Finally, two came forward and declared, "This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of the God and rebuild it in 3 days." Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, "Are you not going to answer? What is this testimony that this man are bringing against you?" But Jesus remained silent. The high priest said to him, "I charged you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God." "Yes, it is as you say," Jesus replied. "But I say to all of you, in the future you will see the Son of Man sitting in the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the cloud of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, He has spoken blasphemy. Blasphemy. Why do we need any witness? Look how you have heard the blasphemy. What do you think? He is worthy of death," they answered. Then they spit on his face and strike him with their fists. Others slapped him and said, "Prophesy to us, Christ, who hit you?" Peter disowns Jesus. Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. "You also were with Jesus of Galilee," she said, but he denied it before them all. "I don't know what you are talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway where another girl saw him and said to the people there, "This fellow was Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath, "I don't know the man." After a little while, those standing there went up to the Peter and said, "Surely you are the one of them, for you were as and give you away." Then he began to call down curses on himself, and he swore to them, "I don't know the man." Immediately a roaster crowded. The Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken, "Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." and he went out and wept bitterly. Judas hangs himself. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people came to the decision to put Jesus to death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was sneezed with remorse and returned the 30 silver coins to the chief priests and elders. I have sinned, he said, for I have betrayed innocent blood. What is that to us? They replied, that's your responsibility. Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. The chief priest picked up the coins and said, it is against the law to put this into the treasury since it is blood money. So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it has been called the field of blood to this day. When then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. They took the 30 silver coins, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field as the Lord commanded me. Jesus before Pilate. Meanwhile, Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, are you the king of the Jews? Yes, it is as you say, Jesus replied. When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he gave no answer. Then the Pilate asked him, don't you hear the testimony they are bringing against you? But Jesus made no reply, not even a single governor. Now it was the governor's custom at the feast of to release a priest chosen by the squad. At that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. So when the crowd gathered, Pilate asked them, which one do you want me to release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ? For he knew it was out of envy that they had handed Jesus over to him. While Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, his wife sent him this message: don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him. But the chief priest and the elders pursued the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to leave to have Jesus executed. Which of the two do you want me to release to you? Asked the governor. Barabbas, they answered. What shall I do? They all answered, crucify him. Why, what crime has he committed? Asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was started. He took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. I am innocent of this man's blood, he said. It is your responsibility. All the people answered, let his blood be on us and our children. Then he released Barabbas to them, but he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to the crucified. The soldiers mocked Jesus. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together on a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand and knelt in front of him and mocked him. Hail, King of the Jews, they said. They spit on him and took the staff and stuck him and stuck on his head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they laid him away to crucify him. The crucifixion. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Gol- Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. They offered Jesus wine to drink mixed with gall, but after tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots, and sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed the written charge against him. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Two robbers were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come from the cross if you are the Son of God." The same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, the elders mocked him. He saved others, they said, but he can't save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him. Now, if he wants him, for he said, "I am Son of God." In the same way, the robbers who were crucified with him also heaped interest on him. The death of Jesus. From the sixth hour until the ninth hour, darkness came over all the land. About the ninth hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those stand at this, they said, "He is calling Elijah." Immediately, one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled it with wine vinegar, put it on streak, and offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, "Now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes in to save him." And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple has thrown in two forms, top and bottom. The earth shook and the rock split. The tombs broke open, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection. They went into the holy city and appeared to many people. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and climbed. Surely was the Son of God. Many women were there watching from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee to care for his needs. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Jesus, and Mary of Zebedee's sons. As evening approached, their came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who had himself become a disciple of Jesus. Going to Pilate, he asked for Jesus' body, and Pilate ordered that it would be given to him. Joseph took the body, wrapped it into a clean linen cloth, and placed it in a tomb that he had cut out of the rock. He rolled a big stone in front of the to the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting the opposite the tomb. The guard at the tomb. The next day, the one after preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. Sir, they said, we remember that while he was still alive, that the deceiver said, after 3 days I will rise again. So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the third day. Otherwise, the disciples may come and steal the body and tell the people that he has been risen from the death. This last deception will the worsen than the first. Take a guard, Pilate answered. Go make the tomb as secure as you know how. So they went and made the tomb secure by putting a seal on the stone and posting the guard.